Hey everyone, today we're going to tackle kind of an interesting problem. My Avalanche is not my daily driver, so quite often it sits for a week or two. I also take it on trips where it'll sit for a few days, and it seems to have a slight power draw. So if it sits for a week or so, the battery runs down to the point where it may not start. So what I want to do is I want to possibly look into adding a full-time solar trickle charger to maintain the battery. Now, of course, it won't help when it's parked under the carport because it won't get the charge. But anyway, let's look at what I've got. I'm not really sure what I'm going to have to work with. All right, so we've got a charger which needs to sit about an inch up. Got suction cups. We got a cable. So what we've got is we've got a cable that I can go directly into the cigarette lighter. I can clip on the battery like jumper cables, or I can hardwire to the battery terminals. This, to me, is my best option. The question is, how am I going to put this thing where you can see it? So let me look into that. Okay, so I think I've got a plan. I think it's going to work. I've tried out a few things. I know where I'm going to mount it now, and I know how I'm going to wire it. So what I'm going to do is I was going to use these sockets for spacers because there's this panel under here. See that? See that block right there? And with that in the way, I need to lift it. But I didn't have long enough bolts. I don't want to go to Lowe's just for this. I guess I should probably, but what I do also want to do is I want to insulate it. So what I'm going to use is, for spacers, I'm going to use rubber and these plastic washers. And that'll keep it up. And where I'm going to mount it is here. So it'll kind of be not seeing the turbulence and the wind that it would see on the back panel, but still function and not need to be removed as much, because this first panel I remove kind of often. This panel almost never. But either way, it has a plug right here on the edge that I'll be able to remove when I need to unplug it. And running the wire should be pretty easy because I can come out from here and maybe around here, or even just tack it up along this drip rail right here, and then just run it through this drain hole here under the body. And then what I'll do is, for the power, I'm going to use a direct. So whenever it's in, it'll feed the battery. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is work on the back, mounting it to the back panel. And you know, I hate to drill holes in these things, but you know, these holes will be pretty easy to plug if I wanted to. And it's not like these things are particularly valuable. There's millions of them around, and a lot of people just take them off. But either way, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount it to this panel, probably to the left. I don't think I need to worry about centering it. I'd rather it be here anyway. It's easier to get to. All right, let me get to it. Okay, if I put it here, easier for me to tuck the cable in here as well. So let's do that instead. Find a good spot, out of the handles. Back. Mostly clear. me get the rest of my hardware. I'll be right back. These holes should be just about right. Yeah. Okay, let me tighten this in a little bit. Make sure we've got enough of a screw to reach. Probably don't. I may still have to get longer screws. I think that's probably likely. Yeah, I'm gonna need longer screws. Probably 3 to 4 inches. But let's get all the holes in. And then we'll go to Lowe's and get some hardware. All right, screws are in. I mean, all the holes are drilled. I gotta go to Lowe's, get longer screws. These are the longest I have. I need 3 to 4 inch. I'll be back. Okay, back from Lowe's. Longest they had was 3 inches. Let's see. Yep, 3 inches is fine. All right, so I'm gonna try a couple other things. I got finish washers because I didn't like the way this sat. It just looks awkward. Okay, and I thought maybe it'd be better to hold these in with wing nuts as opposed to a regular nut, because this means I can remove this guy pretty easily. See, the rubber gasket fits in kind of nice there. Convenient how they only put 3 wing nuts in a pack. That was sarcasm. Borrowing a more permanent hardware solution. Oh, wait a second. put a little Loctite on these. Hold it all in place. Before I do that, let's get to the wiring. Start. All right, good. Not going anywhere. Hopefully, we'll see. Always an adventure. For wiring, what I'm thinking is we're going to simply go in here. Like so, around this gasket. Back out there. And then through the tailgate and in. All right, so I've got to run a spare cable, which I have all the way under the truck, and then connect to there. So let me get to that. I'll be back. Okay, I've got the cable wired, grounded, and on the positive. So now I'm gonna run it probably down through there and under the vehicle. And I'll be using heavy duty tie wraps. And I then have to come up through that drain plug. So let me get to it. My battery's about to die, which is why I'm really not filming a lot of the details of these steps. Mounting it was probably the most interesting part anyway. Let me get to it. Okay, this is the 25-foot cable, and I'm running it into here. And the reason for that is I'm going to set it up so that I can unplug this and take this panel, this bed cover panel off really easy, okay, without having to worry about going under the truck to disconnect that. So what I'll probably do is just tie it up like that. But I've got it under the truck, so I know luckily it's long enough. So now all I have to do is tie it up. So let me get to it. Okay, we're wired in, and everything's tightened down. Let's test it. I just washed up a bit. So to test it, we're gonna pull it. We're gonna pull it into the sun. A quick addendum to the video: if your truck has a 12-volt power socket in the bed, like most do nowadays, my Suburban even has it, but for some reason the Avalanche does not. This is really easy to wire. Put the panel up somewhere and plug it in. So that's why they give you this. You can also put the panel up on your dashboard and plug it in if you've got a full-time active cigarette lighter. But if you've got something in the back where you can plug it in, that would be ideal. Save you a lot of time. Okay. Let's test it. See if I get the polarities right. Phew, boy, that's high. 18.68 volts. Well, clearly it works. I'm sure that's mostly because it's in direct Florida sun. I'll add to that if in fact you were to use the suction cups or something, or just adhere that to your dashboard, it'll do it. It'll put out almost or at least as much voltage. The problem is those things get red hot. I wouldn't want something like that cooking on my dashboard. So I think this is a better mounting option. Hey everyone, well, it's been about a month since I've installed the solar panel on the back of the Avalanche, and I have to report the results are excellent. I've left it sitting for as much as 2 weeks, and it started right up. So the solar panel is able to overcome whatever small draw I had there, and it keeps the battery fully charged. It does seem to put out a lot more power than I need too, but so far it hasn't caused any issues. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tidy up the wiring. So as you'll recall, I have it mounted on this back panel, but these of course are removable, and I wanted a quick and easy fix for removing it because I did have to go on a road trip with it. So here's where we're at. I've got it wired in right here, and you can unplug it right here if you don't want to use it. That's your battery charger, but I think to do it right, we've got to take this panel off. All right, so that's our project for the day. We're going to take that inner plastic bed liner wall out and then wire inside there. All right, so let's get busy. Okay, you'll recall that I had this kind of wired in here to hide the wiring. One of the important details I had about this whole project was that I wanted to be able to still quickly and easily remove this bed panel, which as it is now, I can do. So one of our goals here is, thankfully, the wire from the battery is plenty long enough for me to set up a plug right through this wall, but I have to get in there. And it's got these interesting mounting clips. So let's get these out of the way. Let me get the a couple of these things out of the bed, and then I'll figure out how to get those clips off. I've never seen them before. Let's take a look at this thing and see what we're in for. I'm gonna be climbing this tailgate a lot today, I think. Okay. So these, I believe, have to come out. That's not a big deal. And then here's the clips I was talking about. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 of those. And then 2 more bolts back here. And then I think this whole thing comes out, I guess. I've never done it, but we'll figure it out. I'm gonna work on these first. These are interesting. It looks like you get a screwdriver in there and then pry it up. We'll see. Okay, turns out these aren't that hard to do. So what I've got this screwdriver. It's messed up. It's a flathead, but it's narrow, and it's funny because I just happened to find this one, this old Stanley, that somebody had actually cut this down, I think. So anyway, it's pretty easy. Just go in, kind of twist the screwdriver a little bit, and then you can get under it with the trim tool and pop them out. That's it. So, small screwdriver and something that looked kind of like that. Doesn't have to be this exact same one. This guy's seen better days, but it works. So I'm going to take the other 8 or so of these out, and I'll be back. I've got Muggsy here. Hey, Muggs. Let's try this guy, see if this one doesn't. It seems you just go in and twist it, and it comes right out. Yep, see that? Right out. Interesting. So maybe you don't need the trim tool. I think it's a little easier to have one, but maybe you can do it that way. I'm almost done with this. This is gonna be pretty easy. I'll be back. Okay, you got 4 bolts. I think you've only got 4. It's my best guess. You need a 15 mil socket, and put a little adapter on there. My little Wow, these are, there are a lot of threads on these guys. Alright, I may switch over and just do it with a drill once I get the bolts loose. Okay, thanks Indestro. My little, if you've seen the video, it's one of my favorite ratchets now. It's fun. You can see the gears move. All right, let me take these out with something a little quicker than this, and then I'll be back. All right, I got my helper here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put a 15 mil on the drill. Take them out. A little quicker. Be a little quicker putting them in this way too. Oh, that guy was really in there. Nah, we'll just leave those there for now. Oh, we gotta remember, so the different size bolts. Okay. The different size bolts here. Nope, so only one is extra long. It's this guy up here. All right, I'm gonna take this shelf off. And look, there's some bolts under here. These may be holding it. I'll be back. Important to take these other pieces off as well. They come out easy when the pin's out. And all of them. Okay, for perspective, here's the top of the bed. It turns out there are more clips under here. So let me get these guys out. Okay, I've got this piece of trim just pops off, and I've got it out. I've got all these upper clips out. I don't think this guy has to come off. No, it does not. Look at it, it's coming out easy now. Okay. So I got that thing in the way, but for that I gotta move the whole mid gate, I think, or maybe this, and lift it up. Let's see if that just folds up. Okay, that's out of the way. Okay, so this should come out. And it does. All right, so here's the light. Well, that's why it doesn't work. I do have an LED replacement for it, but I'm not sure if it'll work in that, maybe. Well, that's what we needed to do, and now the solar panel wiring just has to go in here and connect to this, which reaches all the way over, and we're just gonna wanna do that. Pop that right back like that. All right, I don't want to get strayed too far from the mission here, but I've always wondered why my bed light didn't work. And so I got a couple bulbs here. Let's see, I've got an old analog. I think this might be the right old school bulb for this. And it works, okay. Interesting, so do I have an LED that'll work? So I do have power to it. Oh, I do. Okay, so that LED works. So, okay. Great. All right, so that was an easy fix. So now it's just a matter of really putting it back together. I'm just going to put it back together with these wires here. So, I think I just have to make sure I got this thing fit in the right place. Which is kind of tricky unto itself. And then just push it back in. Not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Pretty easy, in fact. In a good spot. Mostly. Feels like I'm a little bit low here for some reason. Oh, the clips are a little low. Why would that be? Let's start putting some bolts in. Let's start with the longest bolt. Which is this top guy. Make sure it's aligned. Appears to be aligned. That's right, we're going to drill. Let's speed this process up a little bit. Just a slightly bit out of alignment, and that just knocked it back into place. Okay, we'll get mostly tight. We won't go all the way. Not yet. Okay, bottom bolt. Alright, so here you can see a close-up of how these go in. You gotta slide this metal clip in behind that, and then the bolt goes in. Took out. Okay. All our holes aligned pretty good. All right. So we can tighten these up. Now I've got these push pins, pretty easy to get in. You gotta kind of make sure both ends are gonna go in. Do that against this guy here I just put in, so. And then you gotta line that and push it. Let's do another one. Okay, here we go. We got this guy. Close those up a little bit so it goes in the hole a little bit easier. Put it in the hole. In. Well, that's what it's supposed to do. Just pop right back in. All 15, but don't forget, you got them under here, under your edge as well. This guy's ready to go in. Here's my screwdriver. All right, well, you don't need to see me put all these in. I'll be back. Okay, all the push clips are in. So now I'm gonna put this guy back in, which just pushes up into place, I guess, wherever the first one is. I guess it would be a little tricky to see it. Around there. That's one. I guess that is how it pushes in. And now we've got this little guy. This had a push clip here, which I have not taken apart, so take this guy out, so we'll need to do that. It's top. And another push clip for around the edge. So, let it go. Just like that. Interesting. There's the hole right there for the push clip. It actually hangs like that. Okay, so this guy, again, squeeze it, makes it a little bit easier to get it in there. A little harder to get this one in. And then, hope this one pushes in easy because it's very hard to get at it. This one has a right way and a wrong way, so we're going to do it differently. We're going to actually see how this end is. This isn't just round. This has to go in a certain way. So we're going to kind of do it that. I'm going to put it in this way. Push it through there, and then do it kind of all at once. It's in, and that goes up, and we're in. Okay. Now I've got this one on the end here. Right here, this should be pretty easy because I can see it. Just squeeze it. And you can see the orientation of this thing. We're in. And that's it. We're all back together. I gotta push this thing back down. This panel here. I think it came up. No, it's back down. Okay. We're good. We got our wiring right there. When I remove the panels, I suppose I should give myself a little bit more wiring. But the beauty of it is, as I was saying, through the light. If you look in here, if you can see it, hopefully there's enough light for you to see it. There's your light. So I can put that bulb in right now. Hope it still works. And I'm ready to just roll the bed liner on. So let's do a recap and talk about what I actually needed to do this. I didn't need the drill and the 15mm socket, it just made it a little quicker. I did need a socket wrench and a 15mm socket for these. You could do it with a wrench, I guess, but I used a socket. I didn't need that. I did need a small screwdriver and kind of oddly shaped. If you needed to, and you didn't have something like this already, which I did, you could just take a small screwdriver and just use a grinding wheel and just take a little bit off the edge and it'll work fine. I just got lucky. That thing just worked perfect. This is a help. Do you absolutely need it? No. Once you get the pins out, you can usually pry it up with a screwdriver. But this was useful on these two. It was much more useful on those. Okay, and then it's just really a little bit of time. Let's get this rubber panel back, bed liner rather, back in place, which I'm debating if I ever even really liked it. It makes it very hard to slide things into the bed. Is that good or bad? I guess it's bad. But we're done. I just gotta put everything back together, put my stuff back in. I'll add an extra minute to the video. For those of you who don't have a Chevy Avalanche but are curious, these are the bed panels it comes with. The back one has 4 levers to pull it tight. I haven't had any trouble with it leaking except for between panels 2 and 3. And I was able to fix that. Yes, I made a little video of how I fixed it. It was remarkably easy. Good. pressure. It feels like it is. Lock those in. I'm going to grab the panel number 2 with the solar. I gotta get a tie wrap. Panel number 2 has the solar on it, and I'll need to plug it in. But you know, another interesting benefit of the way I did it was, I'll show you. The solar panel has about 10 feet. So the solar panel has about 10 feet of extra wire, which gives me the opportunity that if I ever am parked where I'm outside of sunlight and I want to move the panel to sunlight to charge the battery for some reason, I can leave it plugged in and just take this panel out, put the panel where I want it to go. Benefit. That should be all I need, really. So I'm not using a hard tie wrap, I'm just using a baggy tie for this because it probably times I'm going to want to take it out. Or some wiring would get stuck. One thing about these panels is not exactly lightweight, but the other thing is you can stand on them, walk on them, and put a lot of weight on these. Right, locked, and now you grab the camera. I've got my wiring harness hanging. And my power plug, or my battery, connection to the battery right there. I just gotta go in. And there you go. That's how you'll remove the panel. Just unplug that. It just plugs right out. We've now got an active solar panel again. And the wiring is really in the bed. If I ever decide I want to clip that out, I can. It is kind of in the way there, so I'm going to tie it up a little bit tighter because you could get caught on something. You're sliding into the bed. Let's just tie it right here. But there's enough wire there, so it won't get damaged. All right, panel number 3. This is the one that usually leaks because this is the one that usually comes off the most. Locked. There's a mosquito that just flew in there. Good, we'll leave him there. It's locked, and then we lock the side toolbox. We're good. All right, that's it. So, not bad. You know, installing the solar panel was pretty easy. Wiring it inside the bed liner to clean it up a bit was pretty easy. This part of the video maybe took me about an hour. And that's not bad. So if you have an Avalanche, you know, I think this is a great place to mount it. If you do have a roof rack like I have, and you don't really use it for anything, it's just really up there for show or to hold lights or something, that's another option. If you have a Suburban, like I do, my daily driver, there's plenty of places on that roof where you could mount a solar panel, but don't drill holes. You want to use adhesive or something like that. You just got to be really careful because there's a lot of wind up there. Same with that, but in a roof rack you can mount it. You do have 2 bars on that you can mount to. I would suggest go use the bolts on a downward angle and put the solar panel under the bar. But anyway, that's about it for this video. Thank you all who have subscribed. We are actually now at, I believe, 700 subscribers or so, which is fantastic. Thank each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed and you just found this video because you want to do something like this to your Chevy Avalanche, please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I appreciate that. And if you are new to this channel and you haven't seen this before, or haven't seen me say something like this, if you want to do something like this, install a solar panel on your truck or your Avalanche or your Suburban or whichever, you know, you can do it. It just takes a few hours. None of this is complex work. Don't be intimidated. Just go out, get busy. Take care.